Hey guys, tonight we're diving deep into a truth few dare to fully accept: the incredible power you hold to create the life you see in your mind. This isn't about wishful thinking or empty hope. It's about mindset mastery, relentless belief, and disciplined action. You probably won't survive this journey if you want shortcuts or easy answers. You start with a picture in your mind, a scene brighter than your current reality. It might be the freedom to wake up when you want, the ability to travel without worry, a career that lights a fire in your soul, or a family life full of peace and abundance. That image is your blueprint. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But what does that really mean? It means your mind is not just a container of thoughts, it's a creative force. It shapes your habits, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Yet most people never truly harness this power. They see a vision but never build the bridge between desire and reality. They float through life waiting for something to change outside themselves. But the truth is, the only real change comes from within. Historians and psychologists still argue whether people are born with an innate capacity for success or if it's purely developed by environment and mindset. The evidence leans strongly toward mindset as the driving force. And here's a quirky fact. Did you know that some of the world's richest people start their day by simply imagining their future success for 10 minutes? That's visualization in action, quietly wiring their brain for the day ahead. Tonight we'll unpack the exact mental tools and philosophies that will turn your mind into the most powerful creator you own. Because your life doesn't wait, it's waiting for you. You stand now at the crossroads between the life you have and the life you imagine. That crossroads is the battlefield where thoughts wage war. Napoleon Hill called this the inner conflict, a place where fear and faith wrestle for control. It's where doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering you're not enough, this isn't for you, or it's too late. But faith, the kind Hill insisted on, is the light that cuts through that darkness. Faith is not blind hope. It's belief forged in the fire of certainty. It's the unshakable conviction that your vision is not only possible, it's inevitable. Imagine Thomas Edison in his workshop. He faced thousands of failed experiments trying to perfect the electric light bulb, yet he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's faith was not wishful thinking. It was the fuel that propelled relentless persistence. The same faith you nurture today can power your journey through setbacks and disappointments. But faith alone isn't enough. It must be married to clarity. Clarity is the sculptor's chisel carving your formless vision into precise goals. Without clarity, your mind's power diffuses, scattering energy like sparks in the wind. Napoleon Hill urged, "Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Determine what you will give in return." This principle extends beyond money. Clarity defines your entire life vision. Here's a strange yet fascinating detail. Some of the greatest innovators in history, from Henry Ford to Walt Disney, practiced what we now call mental rehearsal. Before they built factories or theme parks, they vividly imagined every detail. Disney, in particular, was known to walk through imagined scenes in his mind, hearing the sounds, seeing the colors, feeling the atmosphere. This wasn't daydreaming, it was mental construction. The debate among neuroscientists today revolves around how exactly visualization rewires the brain. Does imagining success activate the same neural pathways as experiencing it? Many believe it does, which explains why consistent mental practice makes you more likely to perform well in reality. Your brain can't tell the difference between a vivid mental image and a real event when it comes to preparing your mind and body. Now think about the power of belief shaping not just your goals but your identity. Hill insisted, you become what you believe. The average person sees themselves as an average earner, an average thinker, an average doer. But what if you rewrote that narrative? What if you started believing you are a millionaire, an innovator, a creator? This shift changes everything. It alters how you treat challenges, how you see opportunities, and how you respond to failure. The tricky part is that most people's beliefs about themselves are inherited, passed down from parents, teachers, society. These beliefs are often outdated and limiting. Like a worn-out suit, they don't fit who you're becoming. It takes conscious effort to rip off those old garments of doubt and sew a new identity of strength and abundance. Here's an odd historical tidbit. Napoleon Hill himself came from humble beginnings, raised by a single mother after his father's death. Yet he was determined to study the world's most successful people, searching for the common thread that turned ordinary men into legends. His journey was the embodiment of self-transformation. As you stand at this crossroads, remember this: the mind is your most powerful asset. It's where your future is born, shaped, and nurtured. Every great life begins with a clear vision and an unwavering belief that you can live it. So tonight, as you listen, you're taking the first step, not just to dream, but to become. You move forward now, carrying that clarity and faith like a torch through the fog of uncertainty. But here's the catch. Your mind is like a garden, and what you plant there will grow. Napoleon Hill warned what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. This isn't just poetic, it's practical. Your thoughts are seeds. Some will blossom into opportunities, others will rot into fears. Your job is to cultivate the soil with care. Think about weeds, the negative thoughts that sneak in without invitation, fear of failure, procrastination, self-doubt, envy, and resentment. These are the weeds that choke your potential, starving your vision of nutrients. Most people neglect this inner garden, letting these weeds run wild and then wonder why their dreams wither. But here's the good news: you have a powerful tool to uproot those weeds: your willpower. Hill described this as self-discipline, the master key to success. It's the ability to control your emotions, focus your energy, and choose which thoughts to entertain. Imagine it as a gardener's pruning shears, trimming away the useless and making room for growth. Now, a mainstream fact to ground you. Studies today confirm what Hill taught decades ago. People who practice self-discipline tend to be happier, healthier, and more successful. That's not a coincidence. Self-discipline creates structure, which in turn fosters confidence and momentum. But let's add a quirky twist. Did you know that ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about controlling the mind's chatter? They believed that external events don't disturb us. Our judgment about those events does. This aligns perfectly with Hill's philosophy that mastery over your own mind is the secret to mastering life. Historians still argue whether Napoleon Hill invented some of his examples or exaggerated success stories, but the core principle remains untouched. Mastery over your mind is the foundation of wealth and fulfillment. The external world is a reflection of your inner state. So how do you cultivate this mental discipline? One simple yet profound practice is the daily habit of definiteness of purpose. Hill said, "The starting point of all achievement is desire." But desire alone isn't enough. It must be definite, backed by a plan, and protected by your will. Here's where many fail. They have vague dreams: I want to be successful, I want to be rich, but no clear target or daily action. Without this, your mind drifts, like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every wave. Imagine a millionaire as a captain steering a sleek yacht. The captain doesn't just wish to reach a destination. They have a chart, a compass, and a crew working in sync. Your mind must be that captain, commanding the course with precision and confidence. So tonight, as you lie down and the world quiets, ask yourself, what are the weeds I'm allowing to grow? What definite purpose am I cultivating? Because that's the truth most don't teach. Success is less about luck or talent, and more about the daily decisions you make to control your own mind. You wake up tomorrow with a choice that millions fail to grasp. The power to decide who you will be, what you will think, and how you will act. Napoleon Hill calls this the power of decision, the very trait that separates successful people from those who merely wish for success. Here's the hard truth: indecision breeds paralysis. It's the silent killer of dreams. The average mind vacillates, wavering between yes and no, between action and hesitation. Meanwhile, the disciplined mind, trained like a millionaire's, makes decisions swiftly and firmly. Hill said, successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. You can almost picture it: the millionaire mind as a sharp arrow shot from a bow. The arrow doesn't hesitate mid-air. It flies straight and true toward its target. The average mind, on the other hand, is more like a leaf blown by every wind, scattered, unsure, lost. The science backs this up. Research in neuroscience shows that making decisions strengthens the brain's executive function. Each time you decide with confidence, you build neural pathways that make future decisions easier and more effective. This is why rich, successful people seem so sure. They have trained their brains to choose and follow through. But here's a curious fact: the fear of making the wrong decision is often rooted in an outdated survival mechanism. Our ancestors needed caution to survive, but in today's world, overcaution is a trap. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change, they all stall you. And as Hill pointed out, fear is the greatest of all enemies. Historians still argue about how much Napoleon Hill's own stories were embellished, but nobody disputes his keen insight into human nature. He understood that mastery of fear and decisiveness is a critical part of success. So how do you train this muscle of decision? Start small. Commit to making daily decisions that align with your purpose. Choose your attitude every morning. Decide to focus on growth. Decide to say no to distractions. Over time, this builds what Hill calls definiteness of decision, a core trait of every millionaire mind. Remember, hesitation invites doubt. Doubt invites failure. The mind trained like a millionaire cuts through uncertainty like a hot knife through butter. You become the master of your fate, not a victim of chance. Tonight, as you rest, imagine yourself standing at a crossroads. Which path will you choose? The one of decisive action or one of drifting uncertainty? Because this simple choice defines everything. You slip deeper into this world of millionaire mindset training, and now the spotlight falls on your focus, the relentless, undivided attention that the rich guard like treasure. Napoleon Hill knew this all too well. He wrote, Concentration is the secret of strength, and in today's world, that secret is even more vital. Look around you. Notifications ping. Ads scream for your attention. Distractions lurk in every corner. The average mind splinters like shattered glass, trying to catch too many shiny things at once. The millionaire mind, however, narrows its gaze like a laser beam, cutting through noise, chaos, and confusion. You might think multitasking is a skill, but science says otherwise. Studies show multitasking reduces productivity by as much as 40%, fracturing your mental energy and clouding judgment. In contrast, focused minds dive deep into one pursuit, unlocking the hidden depths of creativity and problem solving. Hill wasn't just talking about mere attention. He was emphasizing organized focus, the purposeful directing of your thoughts toward a clearly defined goal. This is no vague daydreaming. It's an intense, disciplined mental habit where your vision and action align with precision. Here's where it gets interesting. The brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and decision-making, can be trained like a muscle. Meditation, deliberate practice, and removing distractions literally rewire your mind for unshakable focus. But focus alone isn't enough. It must be paired with burning desire. Hill made it clear. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Desire is the fuel that drives concentration. Without it, your focus drifts like a boat without a rudder. Consider Thomas Edison. His legendary invention of the light bulb took thousands of trials because his desire was unbreakable. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That relentless desire forged a focus that never wavered. Historians still argue about how much Edison's grit was nature versus nurture, but one thing is certain: his focus, driven by desire, shattered every excuse. Tonight, as you prepare to sleep, ask yourself, what do you desire so deeply that you will refuse to be distracted? What is the one thing you will concentrate on so fiercely that nothing else will matter? Because training your mind like a millionaire means turning your desires into an unstoppable force of focus, one that cuts through the noise and leads you straight to your destiny. You keep moving forward, deeper into the mechanics of the millionaire mind, where belief becomes the cornerstone of everything you are building. Napoleon Hill called faith the eternal elixir of the mind. But faith here is no idle hope or wishful thinking. It is the rock-solid certainty that what you seek is already within reach, waiting to be claimed. Imagine belief as the lens through which you see your future. When that lens is clear, sharp, and unwavering, your mind aligns with opportunities, people, and actions that mirror your conviction. Doubt, that's the smudge on your lens, distorting reality and stealing your power. Hill taught that faith is built by repetition of affirmation, not just saying words like a parrot, but embedding belief deep into your subconscious until it becomes an unshakable truth. Your mind is a fertile garden. Plant seeds of faith, water them daily with conviction, and watch your reality blossom. Think about Henry Ford, a man who believed in the impossible, mass-producing affordable cars for everyone. When critics laughed and investors doubted, Ford's faith didn't waver. He declared, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." His belief shaped an empire that transformed the world. Faith isn't blind, it's forged by action and proof. Each small victory, each lesson learned feeds your belief. It's a cycle, a feedback loop where faith sparks action, and action strengthens faith. Historians debate the origin of Ford's unrelenting confidence. Was it born from experience or innate mindset? Regardless, the result remains undeniable. Faith powered his success. Tonight, feel the pulse of faith beating within you. Let it rise from your chest like a fire, a quiet roar that drowns out doubt and fear. Because to train your mind like a millionaire is to wield faith as your sword and shield in the battle for your dreams. Now, as faith burns steady within you, it's time to sharpen the tool that turns dreams into reality: clarity. Napoleon Hill said, "A mind that is stretched by a new idea never returns to its original size." Clarity is that stretching. It's the precise definition of what you want, why you want it, and how you will achieve it. Most people wander through life with vague wishes. I want to be successful. I want money. I want happiness. But these are shadows, flickering images with no weight or substance. The millionaire mind knows that clarity is a laser beam cutting through the fog, illuminating the path ahead. Think about Andrew Carnegie, Hill's real-life mentor and one of the richest men of his era. Carnegie's vision was crystal clear: build an empire through steel, dominate the industry, and leave a legacy of wealth and influence. Every decision, every partnership, every risk was aligned with that vision. There was no room for confusion or hesitation. Clarity demands that you dig deeper, beyond the surface goals, into your true purpose. Why do you want what you want? Not just the money or the status, but what it will mean for your life, your family, your legacy. When your clarity is born from purpose, it becomes magnetic. This is where many stumble. They set goals based on what others expect or what looks impressive on paper, not on what ignites their soul. Without clarity, your mind is like a ship lost at sea, buffeted by waves of distraction, doubt, and fear. Here's a curious historical note. Historians still argue whether Carnegie's early struggles shaped his vision, or if it was his relentless clarity that shaped his destiny. The truth likely lies in both. His clarity was forged in the fires of hardship, sharpened by unwavering belief. Tonight, as you listen, take a moment. Picture the life you want, not as a vague dream, but as a detailed blueprint. The millionaire mind does not leave success to chance. It designs it with meticulous care.
because clarity is not just about knowing what you want, it's about knowing who you must become to have it. With clarity etched firmly in your mind, you now summon the powerhouse of success, discipline. Napoleon Hill taught that self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement, the quiet engine that keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Picture Henry Ford, who revolutionized industry not because he had more resources or better luck, but because he had an iron will to see his vision through every obstacle. Ford's discipline was legendary. Early mornings, relentless experimentation, and a refusal to accept failure as final. He disciplined his mind to reject doubt, to repeat his goals daily, and to act decisively. You probably think discipline is about rigid schedules or punishing routines, but it's more nuanced. It's the consistent choice to nurture thoughts that serve your vision and weed out the toxic distractions that keep average minds stuck. It's saying no to fleeting pleasures and yes to the long game. Now here's a quirky fact. Ford once said he failed countless times building his first car, but treated each failure as a lesson. Historians still argue whether his famous perseverance was innate or deliberately cultivated through daily habits. Either way, discipline made him unstoppable. Your mind is a garden. Without discipline, weeds of doubt, fear, and procrastination choke your dreams. With it, you cultivate seeds of action, persistence, and focus. This isn't easy. It demands sacrifice and resilience. But it's non-negotiable if you want to create the life you see in your mind. So tonight, as you settle deeper into this journey, feel the power of discipline steadying your resolve. Know that every small choice, every moment of focus, compounds into unstoppable momentum. The millionaire's discipline is not born from perfection, but from persistent commitment. Remember, success doesn't sprint. It marches on, step by deliberate step, commanded by the disciplined mind. You've planted the seeds of discipline. Now breathe life into them with relentless action. Napoleon Hill said it plainly. Action is the real measure of intelligence. Knowing what to do, visualizing success, even believing in yourself, all mean nothing if you don't move. Yet this is where most minds fail. They get stuck in endless planning, waiting for perfect conditions, when the truth is, the perfect moment never arrives. Take Walt Disney. Before his empire rose, he faced bankruptcy, rejection, and disbelief. But Disney kept moving forward, creating sketches, pitching ideas, building small projects. His secret wasn't genius alone. It was the courage to act, again and again, fueled by a vision only he saw clearly. Historians still debate whether his success was luck or deliberate persistence, but what's undeniable is that without action, those dreams stayed dreams. Imagine your mind as a river dammed by hesitation. Without action, the water pools and stagnates. But once you break the dam, even just a small crack, the current builds, unstoppable and cleansing. Your first step, no matter how small, begins a chain reaction of momentum. You might be waiting for certainty, a sign, or the right time. Let me give it to you now. There isn't one. The millionaires you admire took imperfect action daily, learned fast, adjusted, and kept going. Action is messy, uncertain, and often uncomfortable. But it's the only way out of average. Now picture the nervous system of a great athlete. They train movements thousands of times until they're automatic. Action, repeated and deliberate, rewires your brain, builds confidence, and transforms you from a dreamer into a doer. So tonight, as you rest your head, plan one bold move, small or big, that moves you closer to your vision. It could be a call, a decision, or simply waking up earlier. Whatever it is, act. Let your mind and body practice the rhythm of action, because without action, your greatest ideas are just shadows on the wall. With action, they become the light that guides your way. Action alone isn't enough without the shield of resilience. The path to wealth, success, and fulfillment is littered with failures, betrayals, setbacks, and moments where you want to surrender. Napoleon Hill warned that every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, but only if you refuse to be broken. Look at Abraham Lincoln, who lost elections, suffered devastating personal losses, and faced near constant criticism. Yet he stood firm, returning stronger, wiser, more determined. His resilience was forged in the fires of failure and heartbreak. Historians still argue how much his personal losses shaped his leadership, but none question that his refusal to quit transformed a fractured nation. Resilience is not the absence of pain or struggle. It's the grit to endure, adapt, and keep walking through storms. Imagine your spirit as steel forged in a crucible. The higher the heat, the stronger the metal. Your setbacks are the fire. But resilience isn't just about toughness. It's about learning to dance with failure, extracting lessons, and using them as fuel. Every time you get knocked down, your mind rewires itself. You become more cautious yet bolder, more aware yet unafraid. That's the paradox of resilience. It makes you soft in understanding, hard in will. Picture Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure was a stepping stone, not a wall. You must see your own failures this way, not as endpoints, but as essential data points guiding you toward your goal. When the world tells you no, or when your own thoughts scream quit, remember that every successful mind before you faced the same whispers. What set them apart was the refusal to stop. Tonight, as you drift off, cultivate the mental habit of resilience. Let your spirit cradle every setback and turn it into your next surge forward. Your mind trained like this becomes unbreakable, because success isn't for those who never fail, it's for those who never give up. Now let's talk about clarity, the sharp, unyielding clarity that cuts through the fog of distraction and doubt. Napoleon Hill made it clear that definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. But what does that really mean in today's fast-scrolling, noise-filled world? Clarity is your internal compass, the lighthouse guiding your every step amid chaos. Without it, you drift. With it, you steer your ship through storms, distractions, and the siren calls of short-term pleasure. Imagine waking every morning with the blueprint of your day etched in your mind, the exact moves you'll make aligned with your deepest goal. This is not wishful thinking, this is mental discipline. Historians still argue whether clarity is innate or forged by experience. But here's the truth you can hold on to. Clarity comes from relentless self-inquiry. It's the quiet, sometimes painful work of asking yourself, what do I truly want? Why do I want it? What am I willing to sacrifice? Consider Henry Ford, a man who saw clearly not just the car but the future of transportation and industry. His vision was so vivid, so unwavering, it reshaped the world. Ford didn't just build cars, he built a new reality, all because of the clarity that drove him. You too can build your reality. But first you must strip away the clutter of fear, doubt, and other people's expectations. Clear your mental decks. Define your purpose with laser focus, and hold it like a flame in the dark. Your mind trained this way becomes a magnet for opportunity. Tonight, as your eyelids grow heavy, practice this mental exercise. Visualize your ultimate goal as if you already hold it in your hands. Feel the texture, the weight, the emotion. Let that clarity seep into your dreams and awaken you with renewed direction. Because without clarity, even the fiercest effort is like a ship lost at sea. Discipline, the word alone can make you cringe, but discipline is the invisible architecture of all monumental success. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do." Discipline is not some cold, joyless prison. It's the bridge between your intentions and your reality. Imagine discipline as the muscle you never see but always feel. It flexes in the quiet hours when the world is asleep, when your phone is off and the distractions have faded into silence. It's the power that makes you choose the hard path, the one with sacrifice, focus, and grind, while others settle for comfort and excuses. Consider Abraham Lincoln. Before he was the president who changed a nation, he was a man who disciplined his mind to rise above poverty, ignorance, and failure. His story wasn't about overnight success, but about steady, relentless commitment to a vision larger than himself. Discipline today is tested by convenience culture. The temptation to scroll endlessly, to procrastinate, to settle for the easy high is real. But the millionaires, the creators, the leaders, they don't bow to fleeting comfort. They train their minds to say no, to distractions, to excuses, to the voice inside that whispers, maybe tomorrow. You can build this mental muscle. Start small, win tiny battles of self-control. Choose one habit today that aligns with your vision and defend it fiercely. Maybe it's waking up early, reading a book, writing a page, or saving $1. Each act of discipline compounds until your mind becomes a fortress of willpower. This is the truth no one tells you. Success demands discipline, but discipline gives you freedom. The freedom to shape your life, your legacy, your future. Hold that truth as you drift into sleep. Your subconscious is listening. Action, the spark that ignites dreams into reality. Napoleon Hill said, "Action is the real measure of intelligence. It's the heartbeat of success, the rhythm that turns ideas into empires." You can plan endlessly, visualize with vivid clarity, and believe with unshakable faith, but without action, it's all smoke and mirrors. Picture Henry Ford in the early 1900s, tinkering in his workshop. He didn't just dream of the automobile revolution, he built it. Every failure, every setback was met with a renewed effort. Ford's genius wasn't just invention, it was relentless doing. But action is more than mere motion. It's purposeful, deliberate, and consistent. It's the daily grind, the countless unseen steps, the phone calls, the drafts, the revisions, the early mornings, and the late nights. It's the courage to start again when everything tells you to quit. Most people hesitate, frozen by fear or overwhelmed by the unknown. They wait for perfect conditions that never arrive. But millionaires know the secret. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. They embrace mistakes as lessons, setbacks as fuel, and uncertainty as a sign they're on the edge of breakthrough.
Your mind can be a battleground where fear and doubt wage war, but action is your weapon. Every step forward, no matter how small, weakens those enemies. Take that first step now. Write that email. Make that call. Start that project. Your dreams demand movement. Remember, action breeds confidence. Confidence fuels more action. It's a cycle that transforms you from a spectator of your life to the commander of your destiny. Sleep on this. Your future is made in the doing. Discipline is the invisible force that separates fleeting dreams from lasting success. Napoleon Hill insisted, self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. It's the unyielding commitment to your purpose, even when motivation wanes, when distractions scream louder than your goals. Imagine Abraham Lincoln working tirelessly through failure after failure, rejection after rejection. His journey wasn't just about talent, it was an iron will forged through relentless discipline. Each day he returned to his work, not because he felt like it, but because he knew that discipline builds the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Discipline is waking up before dawn when your bed feels warm and your body protests. It's saying no to instant gratification for the promise of a future that's worth every sacrifice. It's the small choices stacked relentlessly, choosing focus over distractions, effort over excuses. The average mind crumbles under pressure, but the disciplined mind thrives. It creates habits that protect you from yourself. It's the quiet voice that says, "Not today," when temptation knocks. Without discipline, desire is just noise, but with it, desire becomes destiny. Your mind is a garden, and discipline is the gardener pulling weeds of doubt and procrastination. Tend it daily, and you'll harvest abundance. Remember, success is not a single act, but a habit. Master your discipline, and you master your life. Now, resilience, the unbreakable armor of the millionaire mindset. Napoleon Hill captured it when he wrote, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Resilience is not just bouncing back, it's bouncing forward, stronger and wiser than before. Picture Thomas Edison, who faced thousands of failed attempts before the world saw the light bulb glow. He didn't view failure as defeat, but as a stepping stone, a lesson etched deep into the foundation of his success. Historians still debate whether his stubbornness was genius or madness, but one thing is clear: without resilience, his inventions would have remained dreams. Resilience means enduring the storms when the path gets dark and the world doubts you. It's finding purpose in pain, strength in struggle, and wisdom in wounds. The mind that trains like a millionaire doesn't fear failure. It studies it, learns from it, and uses it to build an empire. You'll face setbacks, you'll stumble, but the truth is your greatest growth lies on the other side of those moments when giving up feels like the easier choice. So as you create the life you see in your mind, build resilience like a fortress around your dreams. Protect your vision from the chaos, the noise, and the doubt, because the life you imagine is waiting for you right beyond the horizon of every challenge you refuse to surrender to. Hold fast. Keep moving. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Train it like a millionaire, and nothing can stop you.